All right, now we get to talk politics. I thought it was very, very interesting what happened last night in Florida. And apparently President Trump thought so as well. He weighed in on the governor's race after the primary. Here's the Trump tweet on that topic. Not only did Congressman Ron DeSantis easily win the Republican primary, but his opponent in November is his biggest dream, a failed socialist mayor named Andrew Gillum, who has allowed crime and many other problems to flourish in his city. This is not what Florida wants or needs. Now, it sets up what to me is a fascinating fall race. It's a test for both parties, especially, though, for Democrats. They're running this far-left candidate. If he does win, it might mean the 2020 challenger to President Trump will come from the party's far-left flank. If he loses, however, maybe it's a warning sign to Democrats to be careful the types of candidates they choose. We go back to Capri Cafaro, who is also with us, along with Ford O'Connell. What do you think of that, Capri, that it is sort of a test run for Democrats? There's a lot of energy on the far left of their party. But if Andrew Gillum doesn't win, say he goes out and loses this Florida race and maybe loses it handily, just hypothetically speaking, that, to me, that would be a warning sign to the Democrats. Be careful about the kind of candidates you choose.
You know,
what do you think?
I know that it's really attractive to try to use this race in Florida as, you know, kind of a metaphor for, you know, the soul of both parties. You have, you know, on the Republican side, someone who, you know, is supported by Trump, and what does that mean for the future of the Republicans? Then you have the Bernie Sanders candidate. On the Democratic side, what does that mean for the future of the Democratic Party?
But you're going to tell us it doesn't.
Here's the, I don't think this means a whole lot of anything for anybody, and here's why. Because if you take a look at the numbers on each side, and Ford, look, you're from Florida, so you know I will defer to you on this. But when you take a look, at the numbers, right? You have a 7-way primary on the Democrat side, an 8-way primary on the Republican side. The Republican wins handily. The Democrat got only 2 or 3 points, you know, more than, you know, the person coming in second. And then you look at all the other socialists that were endorsed by Bernie Sanders in previous primaries that lost.
Okay.
So,
well,
I mean, there's
defer
no
then,
pattern here.
as you said, Ford, we defer to you.
I'll defer to Ford.
The gentleman from Florida.
Look, this actually does matter a lot because it is Florida, which is the swingiest of swing states, even though it slightly, you know, leans right. I will say this about Florida, and that is that both candidates say they want to talk about the issues, but we know what this race is going to become. It's going to become a Bernie Sanders socialist who wants to turn Florida into Venezuela versus Trump's errand boy. And frankly, if Trump is running for re-election, that is exactly what is going to be the two camps across this country. So I think it is very, very important that Republicans rally together and push back Gillum, because if they don't, it is going to give Democrats and the progressives a lot of momentum.
Policy and personality, I want to try to work both sides of that into it. First, on the policy front, as I said, Gillum comes from the left flank of the Democratic Party. A lot of people, you know, Capri just said, brought up Bernie Sanders and the like. He was on with Shep Smith on Fox News earlier today talking about some of his education and even tax policies, higher taxes. Here's what he said. Take a listen.
What we have proposed is an increase in the corporate tax rate, which in the state of Florida is lower than our neighboring states of Alabama and Georgia. Right now, we're at 5.25%, and we've suggested going up to just over 7%, which puts us in line with many other states. And part of what it creates $1 billion in funding for our public education system. And part of it is that I just don't believe that corporations choose states to locate in when they are 40th out of 50th in the public education system.
So there you go, Capri. Does that message sell?
Depends on the state. And in a place like Florida, where you don't have income tax, I mean, people go to Florida because they don't want to be taxed. So I don't
raise corporate taxes?
You know, I mean, and I'm sure that sounds great to him because obviously, again, he comes from the Bernie Sanders side of the party, but that's not necessarily reflective of, I think, a general electorate. And I think on Democrats and Republican side, what we're seeing is more extreme individuals coming out of primaries. And we will see what happens this November of whether or not any of the extremes actually sell.
That's the point. So you go to the flanks on both sides, right? Or to the wing, whatever it is. But Ford, let me make the last point, because that is true of DeSantis as well, because he had a statement earlier today, also made on Fox News, where he's getting a lot of criticism for. He was on with Sandra Smith. He made a statement which, people have come up after watching it and said, in their view, may have been a racist statement. He warned voters not to, quote, monkey this up in voting for his opponent, who's obviously an African-American. His campaign has since come out and said that he didn't mean anything other than say, hey, it would be a mistake to vote for this guy. But this is the kind of thing that we're already seeing in this race Ford. Will he pay the price for that type of a comment?
Look, Gillum is a walking opposition research ad, and frankly, if I'm DeSantis, I go and buy Graham's mailing list and essentially go to the Central Florida and the Panhandle and basically run his ads for them, from immigration to guns to taxes. The low tax rate in Florida, whether it's the corporate tax at 5.5% or the no income tax, is the reason why jobs are flourishing in Florida. And if you want to lose all that makes Florida great, by all means, elect Gillum.
But statements like he made today, DeSantis could hurt him.
Well, that's exactly. Yeah. Look, I think that was way overblown, personally. But at that point, DeSantis just has to keep the car between the two white lines. If he does that, he'll be the next governor of Florida.
All right, guys. Despite what Capri says, it is an interesting race. We're going to continue.
It's absolutely expensive barn burner.
Thanks, guys.